Hey kids, this is a tape for you. We hope that through the stories, songs, and testimonies, it will help you grow and know Jesus better. We also like goofing around.
Since all the kids that made this tape are from Calvary, we called ourselves the Calvary Kids.
Don't touch that dial. We're ready to begin.
Hey Jason, have you ever been to West Virginia?
No, but I've been to Florida. Andrew, you ever been to Florida before? No, but I've been to Texas. Hey Ben, have you ever been to Texas before?
No, but I've been to Brown Sporting Goods store.
Man, America sure is a big place, and I am thankful that in America I can go to church whenever I want to.
And I'm thankful that in America I can worship God freely.
And I'm thankful that in America I can witness to all my friends.
And I'm thankful that in America I can go to Brown Sporting Goods store. No, not really. I'm thankful that in America I can have a Bible in my house.
I hope America always stays free and doesn't forget God.
How can we keep it that way?
We can pray. You mean like now?
Yeah, David, right now.
But it's not church time.
So it doesn't matter. God hears us wherever we go.
You know, Brent's right, kids, that it's not so important whether you're in church or not, but you can pray anywhere you go. As a matter of fact, the children of Israel, when they were in slavery to the Egyptians, they had to pray as they worked for the Egyptians out there in the hot sand, and there was no church for them to go to pray, but God heard them, and so wherever we are, if we pray, God will hear our prayers. And it wouldn't matter if you were playing with your friends, or if you're at a sandbox, or a park, or anywhere else. If you'll ask God for help, He'll be there to help. You know, another thing, too, is that sometimes it's not so important that we even fold our hands and close our eyes when we pray, but sometimes we can make a prayer out of a song, and then when we sing songs to Jesus, it can be just like a prayer too, because He's listening to the words we're singing just like He does when we're praying. Does anybody know a song that might be a prayer we could sing about America?
I know a song like that. It's called America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty, above of fruit and plain. America, America, God shed His grace on me, and crown my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Amen. Well, now we got a story from Sister St. Clair about Little Monkey. So get ready.
Little monkey, did you get all that work done that I asked you to do? Yes. Did you gather the firewood? Yes. Did you make up the tree house? Yes. Did you gather the berries for supper tonight? Yes. Little monkey started smiling. Maybe he was finally finished. Well, then I guess you'd better go down to the river and gather the water for the next week. Oh! Little monkey stamped his foot down on the ground, and the elder stood up and looked at him. He said, "What was that for?" "You're the one that volunteered to do this, little monkey. It was your idea that you helped me out. I didn't think I'd wind up being a slave, though." "A slave? A slave? Little monkey, you don't know the meaning of the word slave. Do you know that 1,000 years ago our people really were slaves?" Little monkey's eyes got big as saucers. He hadn't ever heard that story, and he wondered if the elder would tell him. Little monkey sat back down and waited, and the elder started telling him of how the monkey people used to live in the nice, cool, clean jungle up in the mountains where all they had to do was swing and gather bananas and eat their berries, and life was just so wonderful for them. And then one day, a tribe of gorilla people came to the monkeys, and they told them, "We're the toughest and the biggest of all of the monkeys in all of the world, and we are going to rule the world. And if you would like to help us build our cities, then you may rule the world with us." Well, the monkeys just got so excited. What a new, wonderful adventure it would be to be able to be the rulers of the whole world with these giant apes. Oh, wouldn't it be neat? Well, the monkeys decided to go with the apes, and they traveled all the way down out of the cold, cool jungles down into the hot, dusty, dry valley below, and they started working to build a big city. And the work was very, very hard. They had to work from early in the morning until late at night every day. They didn't get vacations and weekends and holidays. They didn't get time off to be sick. If no matter what, they had to work to build this wonderful, beautiful city. The only strange thing about it was as time went on, the gorillas stopped working. And pretty soon the only ones that were building the entire city were the little monkey people. And they worked so hard. And when they would get tired, the gorillas would just urge them on. Well, we don't have enough bananas to work for anybody that's lazy. If you want some bananas for supper tonight, you're going to have to work double hard today. And every day the monkeys got up and worked hard. And it got to the place where they would be so sick and so hungry and so tired. And the gorilla people would just be so mean to them. They didn't appreciate them building the city or anything. But they kept telling them, giving them little promises that if they would just obey and if they would just go ahead and listen to them and build this city for them, that they would have a wonderful place to rule. And the little monkeys believed them. So every day they did what they thought should be their job. Well, one day they had all worked very, very hard, and one of the monkeys went over to the gorillas who were sitting under the shade. And
Turn the tape over to find out what happens next.
one of the monkeys went over to the gorillas who were sitting under the shade and drinking nice cold coconuts. And he asked him, he said, I'm so hot and I'm so tired and I just feel like I might pass out. It's so hot here in the sun. Would you please just give me a little drink of water? My lips are cracked and dried, and if I could just have a little bit of water, I think I could build a little bit more. And the gorilla said, you haven't done nearly enough work. You get back to work right now. You have a job to do, and this city's not going to be built if you sit around and just drink water and coconut milk all the time. Now you get over there and do your work. And the little monkey fell down on the ground. He just didn't feel like he had the strength or the energy to move again. And he had some of his friends come over, and they picked him up and carried him back over to a shaded spot underneath a stone. And they kind of fanned him a little bit, and they went to see if they could find some water, and all they could find was some old water that had been sitting over in a corner under a rock for a while, and it didn't taste very good, and it kind of had stuff floating around in it, and they went ahead and gave it to him to drink, and he was thankful that he had just that little bit to moisten his dry lips. Well, pretty soon he got up and tried to go back to work, and he was just so tired, and that night he died. Well, day in and day out, for months and months and years after that, they worked hard, and it got to the place where if they weren't working fast enough, sometimes the gorillas would even come over and kick them or hit them or throw a rock or a stick at them. And the monkeys began to believe that they had to get this building done, this city done, and they became slaves in every sense of the word. They didn't have a choice. They quit making their own decisions. The gorillas told them when to eat and when to dress and where they could live and who could be their friends and when they got to sleep. And the monkeys just took it. Well, one day, when they were all very hard at work and mumbling and grumbling about how hard they were working, they looked up and saw a great white elephant coming toward them. The elephant looked around, and he saw the ones that were sick and laying down on the ground and those that were stooped over. He saw that they had been drinking from little dirty mud puddles, and he thought of the cool water that was just a few 100 feet from there. And he told them, he said, why do you live in this? Why are you allowing these apes to do this to you? Because we have to. Who told you that you had to? Well, the great apes did. Are they forcing you to stay here? Well, no. They told us that we had to build a city if we wanted to rule with them. Tell me, is that more important than going and living a good, clean life, something that you would enjoy doing? Are you happy being ruled by these great apes? No. Do you know that there's a great river that flows not too far from here that has cool, fresh water? No. Where? Well, I'm going that way, and I would be glad to take you with me if you would like to go. But who's going to build this city if we leave here? The great apes are just tricking you. They're not going to let you rule with them. They're going to be the rulers of all the world, and they're always going to keep you under their thumb, and they're always going to make you do what they want you to do. You'll never have any freedom as long as you stay here. You'll never be able to make your own free choices as long as you decide to stay here with the apes. But I'm leaving now, and you're welcome to come with me. And I tell you now that the place where I am going is full of beauty. It's not a hot, dry, dusty place like this. It's a beautiful, cool place, a place where you can relax, where you can be happy, where you can be filled with joy and be glad that every day comes. Not here where you dread the work and the toil that comes before you, but a place where you can feel at peace, where you can find happiness, a place where the water runs cool and you'll never, ever be thirsty again. Oh, we want to go there. We want to be there with you. Will you take us with you? Yes, but you have to make your decision to leave today, and you must never look back at this place. You may never, ever decide that you want to come back here again, because I'm going to this place, and if you want to go with me, you must be the one to make the choice. You must be the one to make the decision. But make your decision now, because I'm leaving now. The great white elephant started to walk away, and the monkeys only took a second to talk it over, and each one of them was very quick to grab their family and the things that they had, the very few things that belonged to them, and they started running after the elephant, and they followed him to the nice, cool river, and there they drank as long as they wanted to, until they were filled with the coolness of the water.
Boy, that don't sound like a story about Little Monkey. That sounds like a story about us kids nowadays. Because the devil promises us to be great and powerful and we'll be mighty rulers if we live for him and build his kingdom. But then we become slaves to being a liar, to being stealers. We lose our friends, and there's no happiness, and we die spiritually. But just like the white elephant let the monkeys out, Jesus will lead us out if we'll ask Jesus to forgive us, and we'll turn from sin and never want to live back in sin again. He'll lead us out, and we're free from slavery then. That's the real freedom we need.
Hey guys, it's almost July.
And you know what's special about July, don't you?
Yeah, my birthday.
No, I was talking about the 4th of July.
What's so special about July anyway? Is that the first day they invented fireworks?
No, it was when the Americans fought the British. The British, they were paying high taxes. They were making Americans pay high taxes, more like it. And America didn't want to pay high taxes. And so, when that happened, America was really getting mad, so they had war. America fought for their freedom, and if America didn't fight for their freedom, we wouldn't have any freedom, and nobody would be able to go to church like we all do here. And I just think it's kind of special. That's just like when Jesus and the devil got in a big fight, and Jesus won our independence on Calvary.
That's right, Ben. Well, this is the end of the tape, so goodbye, kids, and stay free in Jesus.